So the Let Property campaign is HMRC's longest running campaign. It's been going probably for about a decade now. I think it's 2013, so it's just over a decade. It's aimed at landlords, and it started when HMRC issued Schedule 23 notices to obtain information from letting agents on landlords with second properties. That was important because it shows how HMRC have evolved in obtaining information. That information now collected a lot easier. They have things like not only information provided by letting agents but also by financial institutions, so mortgages are passed, or mortgage providers pass information to HMRC. They've also teed up the electoral roll and other government information, for example the land registry, and all that comes into HMRC so they know when somebody has a second property, and they will also be able to see who is living in that property, paying council tax or on the electoral roll, and therefore they will know whether it's likely rented to another person. So they could start an investigation or an inquiry into your tax return, but the likelihood is that you wouldn't have received that yet because there are so many second landlords, and that's why the Let Property campaign has been going for such a long time. You can make a disclosure on the Let Property campaign online. I would say that it's probably wise to get a specialist advisor to do it, not only because I am a specialist advisor and I work in the area of investigations and inquiries, but also because if you do it yourself, you're probably going to get the numbers slightly wrong, and then you're going to have to face the situation of penalties and discussing penalties with HMRC officer, and you may not know the law and how to mitigate those penalties as much as possible. You may not also know whether an act is deliberate or non-deliberate, or whether it's a failure to notify, and whether actually HMRC are in time to tax you on your income from that let property. So there's a number of other factors that can come into play to mitigate your liabilities if your disclosure is done properly. One thing to note is that when you do your disclosure online, if you return a nil penalty, HMRC will end up writing to you, and then you will have to enter into a period of negotiation over those penalties to defend why you feel it's a nil penalty or low penalty. So just to tee you up, doing it online isn't without its complications, and certainly if you are not a specialist in the area, you are probably not going to mitigate your position as fully as you can do.